Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Slcmof, and I'm back again with the video. And in today's video, I'd like to talk about Batman v Superman, and this is actually a topic that I've covered quite a bit on my channel. For those of you more recent to subscribe, may not have actually seen that many of my videos. I did a full trailer breakdown of Batman v Superman and many other discussion and topic videos and that kind of thing. Not a ton, but a pretty good amount, and I'll link that playlist in the description below, and it's also on my homepage at any time you'd like to see any of my Batman v Superman topic videos. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, it was just recently announced that Batman v Superman will be PG-13. Now, I actually saw this first on Caboose's Twitter. He tweeted out that the film was going to be PG-13, and then I saw on the left-hand side of my Twitter that it was trending that the film was PG-13. So this is big news, and this is a big deal to a lot of people, and I saw a lot of people were very upset with this. Looking at this news solely from the perspective of Batman, I find it hard to believe that this film is rated PG-13 if the full Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman is in Batman v Superman. For those of you who don't know, Batman v Superman appears to be pulling very heavily from the Dark Knight Returns book, written by Frank Miller, of course. And Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, for those of you who don't know, is a very dark and very gritty tale that is quite gruesome and shows the kind of vigilante side of Batman more so than any other comic. People like violence, and people that are older, especially those that can watch a R-rated film, you know, without having parental consent or anything like that, they can go to the theater by themselves or what have you. People like violence. People like to see kind of a story that is not concerned about censorship, one that doesn't, you know, turn the camera away before the guy's head gets chopped off. You know, people like that kind of stuff, and you may not, but the fact of it is, R-rated movies don't perform as well as PG-13 movies. And the reason that they set out to make this film a PG-13 film, and if you think otherwise, then you're just wrong. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can tell you, because they definitely set out with the intention to make this film PG-13, as Christopher Nolan did with Batman, and as they did with Man of Steel in 2013. That's just the way it is. You want to make R-rated films inherently will not get as much money. And the fact of it is, PG-13, that's the prime time. Those films perform better than any other film, and they're also the categorically, they have the most amount of films. PG-13 films do. So when you have an R-rated film, you have parents that are concerned about exposing their kids to certain violence and that kind of thing. So what you have is 12 and 13-year-old kids, sometimes older, sometimes younger, that just love Batman, love Superman, and would love to see the film, but their parents will not let them because it's an R-rated film. It's meant for 17, 18-year-olds. So it's understanding that that was the case. You know, I was in that position. I'm 18 now, but, you know, I was in that position at one point, and I understand how frustrating that was. I couldn't play Call of Duty when I was like 12 or 13, which I really despised, but nonetheless. However, if you have 12, 13, maybe even 9, 10, 11-year-old kids, their parents are more likely to be inclined to let them see a PG-13 film. And I know when I was growing up, you know, if I was, you know, like 10, my parents wouldn't mind me seeing a PG-13 film, but an R film, no way, zero chance. So there's a lot of truth to that, and you have to keep that in mind, that they made the film thinking it was going to be PG-13, and if it got a rating above PG-13, that was going to be bad news, big trouble for them, because they need that to sell as many tickets as they can. That's just the business of it. And was the film, or is the film rather, we haven't seen it yet, kind of maybe stripped down from some of the more violent scenes? Absolutely it was, but the film was written, directed, and cast and everything from every step of the way to be PG-13, and that's the exact rating that they got, because that is the rating that they wanted. Now, with that being said, I would have preferred it to be PG-13, but that's because I'm a self-interested person that would have rather seen the film be more violent and maybe have more shocking aspects to it that you wouldn't expect, some shocking deaths, some gruesome deaths, or what have you. But that's because I'm 18 and I don't need, you know, I'm not concerned about whether my parents will let me go see it. I'm not 12, 13. Not sure if I'm unable to see the film. And the fact of it is, that's just the way it is. That's just the business of it. If you have a film that's PG-13, it's going to do better than one that's rated R. Even if it's the exact same film with a different rating. You know, you take Batman v Superman, you put it's an R-rated film in Theater A, it's a PG-13 film in Theater B. Theater B is going to sell more tickets. That's just the way it is. Some of you may not have even known that this was actually an issue that people were concerned about, the film being R, but as I mentioned, you know, a film that's PG-13 is inherently limited in what it can do. There's a lot of restrictions. For example, if you drop the F-bomb in a PG-13 film, at least more than once, it's gonna be rated R, and even once, depending on the context of what that word is used in, it's gonna be an R-rated film. So you know, it's going to be a very censored film. And if you look at the violence, like I said, if anyone's getting decapitated, anyone's, you know, any of that kind of stuff, that's not happening. It's just not going to happen in the film. And people want to see that kind of stuff, like I said. And, you know, comics, they're especially known for being particularly gruesome, and they're able to show that kind of stuff because comics don't really have the same element of rating system, or, you know, making sure that parents and that kind of thing are more inclined to know about the... Of course, comics do have ratings, don't get me wrong, but you know, that it's not as big of a thing. You know, right on the front billboard of Batman v Superman in the bottom left-hand corner is the rating of the film. That's not the same way it is in comics, and most comic book fans kind of like that kind of stuff, and like the gritty nature of the story being told in its glory. But as I said, with the PG-13 film, it's just not going to be to that degree. And like I said, you may not even have known that this was an issue that people are concerned about, but it definitely is. It definitely is an issue, and it's going to change the way that the film is going to be projected onto the screen, and the story that they're ultimately trying to tell is going to be watered down to a degree. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought about this video and the entire rating of Batman v Superman. Are you glad that it's PG-13? Would have you preferred it to be R? And what kind of important stuff, maybe from the Dark Knight Returns comics, but also just other kind of interaction between Lex Luthor, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, what kind of maybe grittier, darker scenes have they cut out, or just totally not considered, just from the fact that they knew and set out to make this film a PG-13 one? And do you think that a PG-13 rating is actually going to worsen the quality of the film? Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. I really do appreciate it, guys. All the support recently, it's been absolutely great. My name's Slcmof, and we'll see you later.